welcome back to my channel. My name is Destiny, for those who don't know me, and this is Unapologetically His. And today we're going to be talking about what it means to surrender. Surrendering by definition means to cease resistance to an enemy or opponent and submit to their authority. Now, the definition of surrender can confuse a lot of people in the context of God. Like, why would we have to surrender to God if he's not our enemy? God may have never been our enemy, but at some point we took him as an opponent because we did not obey him. We went against him. Just because God has never been our enemy does not mean that at no point he was never an opponent figure in our lives, because we were moving against him. We were strategizing against him, going against his word, going against his authority. We were trying to overrule him in our lives. We were being rebellious to his authority. We were not living by his will by any means. So God wasn't the opposer. He was the opposed. He wasn't opposing us. We were opposing him. You rejected his guidance. You rejected his word. You rejected his presence in your lives because you didn't want to be controlled by anyone or anything, including him. And that goes for even people who believed in him or who still currently believe in him. When you surrender to him, you are bowing down to him. All the rebellion is now ceasing. The battle that you had going on that made you want to fight against him is stopping. This is the end of that. You're surrendering to him and you're giving up trying to live for you, and now you're going to live for him. The second part of the definition says, submit to their authority. God now has reigning authority over your life. But there is freedom in this surrender. Normally we think of surrendering and we think that when we surrender, now we're slaves to this person. And in a sense, yes, we are slaves to Christ, but more than that, we are his friend. We are obedient servants to the Lord. And there is freedom in surrendering to him, because now all the choices you had to make by yourself, all the struggles that you had to endure by yourself, now he's there with you to take it all on for you. You made the decision to surrender and submit when you accepted Christ into your life. In the book of Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 through 6 say, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways and he will guide you on the right paths. That dark and confusing path that you were on before is now lit and there is clearance, because he made that way for you. He made it straight for you to continue on. But he only made it straight so that you can walk towards him, so that you can be guided towards him. It wasn't for you to go in an opposite direction. It wasn't clearance for you to see the path that you were supposed to take and then see another one and say, okay, well, maybe I should take this one instead. No, the path is straight because there is only one way. There is no other option. If you do see another option, that is the devil throwing that in for confusion. There's one straight path to the Lord. And you get that light, you get that clearance when you surrender. And you give up trying to find your way out of that darkness by yourself. Now you have clarity and direction. You were awakened by the Lord, and now your eyes are open to the truth. To the truth of the world, to the truth of yourself. You chose to surrender because you knew it was the only way you were able to survive. You didn't choose him just because you wanted to go to heaven. You chose him because you knew that he was going to be the only one who was going to be able to fulfill your life with a purpose. You knew he was going to be the only one to give you a purpose to live, because he gave that to you way before you were born, because he created you. He knows what he created you for. He knows what you were meant to do. And when you stray away from his path, then you are not doing what he wanted you to do. You are not going along with the plan that he had for you since before you were even on this earth. You were awakened by the Lord, and now your eyes are open to the truth of the world, to the truth of yourself. He knows how much we need him. There's no need to pretend in front of God, because he created us. He knows everything about us. He knows our past, present, and future. What is there to pretend in front of God? It's not like we're going out into the world, we're pretending in front of people. We're pretending to be independent. We're pretending to be so strong that we don't need anyone. We don't need to do that in front of God. Who needs to front in front of the person who created you? The one who created it all. There's no need for fronting in front of God. He knows. He can see right through you. It's not going to work with him. We do not need to show him how strong we are, because he knows us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. You need to release it all to him. Stop trying to do everything by yourself. And stop trying to work through all your problems by yourself. He is there for you. Let it all go. Tell him that you want to receive his help. Tell him that you need to receive it. Take the hand that he is offering you. Trust in him. We don't need to fight our battles alone when we have Him in our lives. You think that you can carry the weight of your own burdens alone? No. Only Jesus can do that, and He has made that very clear to us. Surrender and make peace with the fact that you're just human. There is no shame in saying that you can't do it. God will never fault you for needing to surrender. He wants you to because He knows you need to, and He wants to help you. He loves you so much. Take the time to just listen to Him when He tells you to stop. In my last video, I spoke on surrendering your life to Jesus in the context that when you come to Christ, you are a new creation and you need to leave your past behind. That is a way of surrendering. But now I'm talking about surrendering in the context of letting go and trusting God completely, no matter what will happen, whether you know what will happen or what you don't know will happen. That is the kind of surrendering that I'm talking about now. And I'm also talking about submissiveness, how to submit to His authority, how to obey the Lord. You were never meant to go head to head with this world all alone. To beat the enemy, you need to be led by someone who knows the enemy more than you know them, and someone who knows how to lead and guide you through whatever battles you are facing. And that one person, that one being is God. Who's going to be a better leader than God? Think about it. So if you know that He's won so many battles, why are you not letting Him take control of the one that you're enduring right now? Why would you run away from Him when He's trying to help you? Why are you being weary of Him when you know now is the time that you need Him the most? Why are you separating yourself from His word when now is the time that you need to strengthen yourself with it? Why are you giving up in the time that you know you need Him the most? Why are you feeling shame when you know that He did not make you to be shameful? Why are you giving up when He always told you you can do whatever you want in His name? Why are you letting the devil get to you when you know that He said you have authority over him? Surrender, submit. Open your word and study. And when you study, put what you learned into practice and pray. When you pray, humble yourself before Him and tell Him everything that is burdening you and let it go. Pray for discernment so that you know exactly where He's trying to take you, so that you know exactly what He's trying to lead you to. God will bring victory into your life, and you will be victorious because of God. The Lord is mighty. Stop looking at your struggle like mountains and remember that there is no mountain that God cannot help you climb. God will never, ever forsake you. Even Jesus surrendered to the Father. Jesus submitted to God. Look at Matthew chapter 26, verse 39. It says, going a little farther, He fell face down and prayed, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. He was willing to surrender to the Father despite knowing what was going to happen if he did that. He knew his Father's will and he still surrendered to Him. In his moment of distress, Jesus still said, let your will be done. Jesus was shaking in his distress. He knew what was going to happen to him. And this verse makes me very emotional because to think that Jesus felt that fear that we feel on a normal day, on a regular basis when we're going through things. We feel fear, we get anxious, we feel all these emotions that cause us to be so distressed. Jesus felt that the same way that we feel it. He felt it too. Our God felt our pain, and He felt pain in so many different ways, and here we are not willing to bow down, not willing to surrender because we just feel so. Some of us have a lot of pride. Some of us feel so ashamed that we even feel scared. There's a lot of reasons why we're afraid to surrender. We fear the future, what happens when we do that. And the thing is, when we trust God, it doesn't matter what's going to happen next. What matters is that the biggest demonstration of our faith, the biggest demonstration of our love for the Lord is when we say, do your will. That is surrendering. Do your will let your will be done, and that's it. You don't care what's going to happen next because your trust, your faith is all on the Lord. That is true surrendering. And to submit, you submit to his authority. So no matter what he says you need to do next, or no matter what he says is going to come next, you're going to obey his will. You're going to go along with it because that's how much you trust him. This example of Jesus freaking out about his death is the example we need to take when we are thinking about what it means to surrender. When we want to surrender, that is what we need to take a look at. How did Jesus do it? We need to be more like Christ. And to be more like Christ, we have to take even the roughest examples and put it into, make it work in our own lives. We need to replicate everything Jesus did. Replicate his attitude, the way that he obeyed no matter what. Demonstrate the love that he gave his people, the understanding. We just need to be more like Christ in every sense. We need to study the way Jesus behaved, the things he said, why he said what he said. And we need to take a look at this example of surrendering and put it into practice. Because sometimes we're so scared that we don't want to obey. And look at Jesus. He knew he was going to die. And even though he was so scared, because he was terrified, he still allowed the Father to work and fulfill his plan. Because he knew that whatever plan God had was much better than anything he could have ever had for himself. And we need to remember that for our own lives. He didn't fight against it. He didn't say, no, I don't want that to happen. He said, again, my Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will. Again, yet not as I will, but as you will. Remember that we need to live by the will of God, not our own. The only way we're able to surrender fully is if we've given him all the control in our lives. We're not the ones dictating our lives. He is. And he is the one who has the perfect plan for us. We don't know what is going to come of us. We don't know our own plans. We can daydream. We can tell him what we want. But at the end of the day, the only plan that matters and the only plan that we should allow to go through in our lives is the plan that he has for us. We need to stop hesitating when we need to surrender. Surrendering is the greatest demonstration of faith that we could ever make for the Father. God is with you, even in your toughest battles. Do not give up on him. No matter what you're feeling, you cannot give up. You can't give up because if you give up, you're giving up on God. You're giving up on his plans. You think that you're not worthy of his plans when you give up. Do not let the enemy get into your head like that. No matter how scared you are, no matter how broken you think you are worthy of the Father. You are worthy of Jesus. Do not let go of his word. Do not forget his word. His word is what strengthens us. His word is what keeps us going. Prayer, that connection to God, is what keeps us alive. Do not fall away from it because of the enemy. You are better than that. Do not let him get to you. You are strong. With God, with Jesus, you are strong. Remember that. You are worthy, very worthy, and you are loved by the Father. Never hesitate to surrender to him. And that's all I have. That's all I have for all of you today. God bless you all. I'll see you next time. Bye.